Listen, the shade room is the elite version of fucking media takeout. Okay?
It is.
So like
Quite
and
literally. You know what? You said something. It is the Instagram version of media takeout because media takeout, okay, forget Hello, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
what up? It is Deja. How y'all doing?
Hello. You never been here before? Welcome. We do a cross section of pop culture in real life, and today we are here with a Manosphere adjacent episode. Hmm.
Black.
So I will drop the link to this finding in the description box, but basically there was a report released from the Onyx Impact that was talking about the Black online disinformation landscape and how it is working in tandem to really try to get people politically disengaged. Do with that what you
What you
will.
will.
So I wanted to highlight a few of the core networks that they identified for that are spreading this disinformation and misinformation, and then maybe we can chat a little bit more about that. So the first one is gateway influencers and platforms. They specifically name the Breakfast Club, the Shade Room,
Oof.
19 Keys, the Joe Budden podcast, Earn Your Leisure, and the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Damn. Earn Your Leisure. I didn't think they were problematic. But
I
I
have
also
heard.
don't watch all of their content. I usually get the stuff that's specific about like business and whatnot.
Yeah. Neither do I, but I don't listen to them at all, but I have heard them being problematic, heard of them being problematic. The second thing that they identified is far right activists in media outlets. And these are things that are anti-Black, anti-immigrant, anti-LGBTQ, plus revisionist history, and other just narratives. The Black Manosphere is number three. We're gonna come back to her. We'll come back to her. Number four is
Hard
the
side.
Black extreme nativist and separatist groups. So this is the most extreme version of like the ADOS movement of like, which is the the American descendants of slavery. So
Mhm.
basically like Black Americans and like we should be keeping for us and not letting the immigrants in to take what's ours, like that type of perspective, which has
I didn't
become
even know that the ADOS was the, but I've never really dug into it because it just seemed like another bandwagon of separatism to jump on, and I was just like, I don't care.
exactly health skeptics, which we know some of these. We all do. Um, anti-vaxxers, black anti-vaxxers, black of the things,
The
and then
host
of
of
course,
the Dr. Sebi people
oh
now.
God, uh, we can come back to that too. And foreign actors, of course, we know that during the last election, the Russians were had bots pretending to be black people in spreading disinformation. So, anyways, particularly, I wanted to talk about the Black Manosphere because we told y'all, and I'm going to link the video where
We
we
told
told
y'all
y'all,
this.
and we have been having a conversation about the Black Manosphere, like radicalizing people in political spaces
Hmm.
because it's just a lot of like men should be in control, patriarchy, extreme patriarchy, and all of those things that are really like not good and in a disinformation-y sort of way.
Hmm. It's I liken it to the the Republican black man's experience trying to translate like that heritage 19 what is the project, what is it, 19 so no 2025
Oh
project
yeah,
into translating all that into like black culture, like you're trying to recreate their systems but within our
within
communities,
blackness.
and
Yeah.
it does not fit, it don't make sense, like it's just
Even talking about
problematic.
the dating content and like how Black women behave and all of this stuff. And like,
Yes.
it's not helpful because like our culture and our society as Black people has never looked like how white
Well,
people
yeah.
lived. So
And
most
what did
Black
I talk about?
women have always worked and
Yes.
have always brought things to their homes. So trying to
Mhm.
make it seem like Black women were always these docile, whatever, it's like that's just not true.
Agreed.
It's just not true for
I don't know
us.
where y'all got that from, but that's not, it ain't that, and that's not this.
And it hasn't ever really been.
No,
It
because
has never really
our
been.
grandparents and great grandparents, the mothers, they weren't allowed to be stay at home.
Yeah.
It was
A lot of them
illegal.
were, a lot of them were like cleaning houses and stuff. You know what I
The
mean?
vast majority were, because that was the only jobs that we as women could get in that
Yeah,
time.
100%.
And that's only,
Um,
what, two generations away from us.
literally, literally.
So,
And
like,
then,
this idea that it should be, just as it relates to like the dating and relationships and how they always holler about how it needs to be the way that it was in our grandparents' age and their era. No, no, it doesn't, because it wasn't equality then, and it's not going to be like equality now.
yeah, I agree. So, wanted to touch on the gateway influencers and platforms a bit.
Man, listen. I just, the fact that who knew that Earn Your Leisure was, I mean, obviously y'all did, but like, I thought they was on the up and up,
Mm.
at least at the very bare minimum. It's been a rise of a lot of ideologies that just don't make any sense. And it's people, well, let me not even say it's people. It is, well, no, I'm right. It's people, because it's women included in these stupid
Mhm.
patriarchy
100%.
conversations.
Absolutely.
Um, that are just spouting off, they just talking to each other. Nobody is really elevating the conversation. They're just spinning around the same stupid, simple circles of what life should look like and not accounting for what it is today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I thought the Breakfast Club being on here was accurate and also like
But who was taking the Breakfast Club as like a fucking news source or like
I
a,
think plenty of people do.
why? It's a radio show for a good.
It is. However, it has been legitimized as the place that political engagement happens. Charlemagne has stretched his
Mhm.
legs into a political spaces. He
Yeah,
goes on the Daily Show. He's on in the places. The all of the candidates, the Democratic candidates
have come.
marched their way through the Breakfast Club. But also he's platforming Candace Owens, which we have also talked about. And it's like, listen, this is harmful. It is harmful. It is harmful. And the same can be said for the Shade Room and the lies and
Well, hell, the
misinformation
shade
that they
room. If you
spread for a price.
listen, the shade room has been, the shade room is the elite version of fucking media takeout. Okay?
It is.
So like,
Quite
and
literally. It is you know what? You said something. It is the Instagram version of media takeout because media takeout, okay, we're dating ourselves, but it was
I'm
like a list. You just go on there and it's just a list of chaos and foolishness. And you just go
foolery.
through and click, 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 figure out what you care about. You click, 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 and you go dig in. And that's what media takeout was. And that is what the Shade Room has become. It's like constant chaos and foolishness. And then they intersperse some right wing ideology for the right price.
And did you know? And this is totally alleged. I don't know this shit to be true. Okay, so y'all don't run with this. But
Mm-hmm.
allegedly, the shade room is owned by the preachers out there in Dallas. I'm saying it in this way for a reason.
I don't,
The big
I've
old
never
mega
heard of that.
church for
I know
us.
what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about. I've not heard that.
Yeah, I've been hearing that for the last year and a half, that there's
Yeah.
some sort of like affiliation to that institution. Now, if it ain't true, then it ain't true. But I'm like, it's too many. But of course, we're in the age of misinformation, so there's been a lot of chatter with the the internet sleuths who have dug up all this information. Who knows if
Yeah.
it's real or not?
Which I
But,
think we need to have a word about that too, because the internet sleuths be preaching.
and do,
And it's
but hell,
like,
sometimes
girl,
they be right.
yes, but at what cost? Because sometimes
Yeah,
they be reaching to an extent that it is costing people their livelihoods,
yeah.
it's costing people a lot. And once that those tentacles just like start to spread out, it's like it's hard to pull that stuff back in. And I don't think that a lot of people are as careful as they should be, particularly on TikTok. I'll say it, particularly on TikTok.
For
It's
sure.
just like it it's a lot of disinformation happening out of that space. Let's just say that.
I agree. So it's just at this point, like you got to do your own work. But even if you do, as just a layperson, there's no guarantees that you're gonna really come across anything if you don't know how to look.
Yeah, I agree. It's not easy. It's not easy to look and verify, and it takes an extra few steps to verify before you spread something that you think may or may not be, anything all that important. It's easy to do the repost or the share or whatever, or to share it to your stories or whatever. Super easy to do that, but
Mhm.
it takes a couple extra steps to be like, to think critically and say, does this sound right?
Right. So
Huh.
and that's why I'm like, if that I don't that would be a crazy chain of events if it was true, but like I don't even remember how they made the connections as to who and what. I mean, it could be people own some of the strangest things and or are invested in some of the
Of
strangest
course.
things and don't know the magnitude of what they're invested in.
Yeah.
So like that, I mean, and that might be the case if it is true. Who knows? I
Yeah, it
have no
could be.
idea. But that was one of the craziest things that I've heard as it relates to misinformation on the internet.
Yeah. So, anyways, drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think. Are you concerned about the legs that misinformation and disinformation grows on the internet and in these spaces? I'm going to drop the entire article or the entire like research findings down below because they also have a few suggestions for like what we can do to combat this in terms of like engaging in these spaces, engaging with the communities of people who are spreading this information in ways to do it in a helpful way. So I'm going to drop this thing down below. Go there, read it. It's good. And in the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.